back again on Nez Perce Valley here in Way the Hunter. It was only a matter of time, and I've been looking forward to doing this really ever since we found out crossbows were coming with the Aurora Shores update. We even spent some time out here calling animals into close range and practicing getting them broadside in anticipation of getting to do this. So we're armed with the 30-06 and of course the crossbow, and we're gonna head out here on Nez Perce and see what we find. And apparently, what we're gonna find is a 1-star mature bull elk just out here in the meadow below the lodge. Now, when we did the early access for Aurora Shores, I had like the exact same thing happen. You have to play through the tutorial, and that was a new save, so we were required to come out here, and there was one solo bull that looked rather unimpressive, just sitting out here right outside the lodge. So I don't know what's up with that, but I figure we'll take that guy. Luckily, the mule deer stayed, and I bet there's at least one in there with maybe subpar genetics we can try to bring in and get with the crossbow. And by the way, there's another one just out there. Maybe they have kind of moved some of the home ranges around, because that, I don't imagine is a coincidence that there's a couple right there at the water as if they're drinking. But several mule deer bucks are coming into the low fitness call, and I kind of wonder as well if when we take this shot some of these hang around. We may try to get one with the 30-06 as well, so let's try to make sure we get this guy. Got a pretty vicious right to left crosswind, so 0 for 27. Try to just stick that in the front of the shoulder, and I don't know, that buck is still standing there, but are we going to be able to get a shot off in time? I guess we are. That was a 2-star mature, so while he may have been one of the better genetic males in that herd, I think it's still fine to take him out. This guy, we right lung shot at 24 yards. That actually kind of worked too, because I think we aimed more like in this area, and the wind kind of pushed the bolt to the left, but a 42%, good to take him out. The elk should have been, I didn't mark that, but he was standing right there, it looks like. Now the other question I have is there an actual elk zone? There is. So that's kind of cool. I like that they've maybe, brought elk up into kind of the main starting area. We'll quickly grab our other mule deer buck, which apparently at some stage in the past, I tried to drop with like a back of the head shot and whiffed. So that's interesting, but that guy was a 53%, not much different than the 1-star adult we took. And then the question is, how far will a elk run with like a broadside lung shot from the 30-06? It's not something I can say I've tried, but knowing how powerful that gun is, I'm betting it's not going to be too bad a track. And that couldn't have worked out much better. If he ran 10 more yards, we may have had to track him the entire way, but in total, he made it about 250 yards, maybe something like that. Fairly lengthy track if we had to do the entire thing, but not that bad overall. These things are incredibly vocal down here, by the way. That's the other 1-star mature that we're just going to leave there, but I think that's going to be cool as you're like getting started in the game. Heading out from the outpost and either seeing elk out there or just hearing the bugles. It's one of those things that I feel like could get you hooked to this game. I am convinced that the elk models are Way the Hunter's absolute best work, but this guy, we left long shot at 240 yards. I mean, that ain't bad. That distance, he ran another 200 or so for kind of a lower tier weapon. I'm impressed. This was not the plan, but we might get a chance for like a kind of long-ish broadside crossbow shot. The wind is decent. There's a bunch of bulls here we could go for, and they're kind of slowing down. So if that guy stops in an opening somewhere, we might try it with the hunter sense on. Gotta find one that is going to be worth taking. I mean, that guy would be. What about just dropping that right in there? That looked pretty good. Maybe a touch low. Kind of step back here and see if we can figure out which one he was, because I didn't pay too much attention to the size. Most looked mature. I don't see any stumbling, but that doesn't necessarily mean he didn't go another way. The blood looks fantastic, so he must have either stumbled off another direction or somehow gotten up there so fast that we're looking at the ones behind him. I don't actually see where he went. There's blood tracks that way, so that might explain it. He actually only went like 40 yards, and I think we couldn't see him through the brush, but that's really impressive. just a single lung shot again. Bolt didn't quite go all the way through to hit the far side lung. 59 yards away though, and we were maybe a touch low, almost hit him right in the heart. That would have been cool if we did that, but he was a 63% mature. This is a herd that we've killed 5 stars from before, so I think getting one like that is probably helping the herd overall. And not too bad. I wanted to go up here and try to call in at least a bull during their drink time and get one. I don't know what they were doing there, but who needs calling when they just walk right by? Unfortunately, in this case, the wind is pretty bad, so I think we'll try to get this guy just with the 30-06. I would be curious to see if a frontal heart shot can be done, because we learned the 350 doesn't seem to be able to do it. So let's try with the 30-06 at about 100 yards. Line that up just right, and we'll see just how quickly he goes down. If he kind of takes off and starts to leave a really kind of heavy blood trail, I'm going to guess it's that artery shot, but he just dropped. That may well have been a heart shot from the 30-06. Now that angle was pretty kind of favorable since he was sort of leaning uphill, but that wasn't bad. I do, by the way, this is the first time we've been back on Nez Perce, and seeing just the name elk, I really hope they change them to say Rocky Mountain elk sometime in the near future. Just one of those kind of little detail things that would be a nice change, and there's been a lot changed on Nez Perce. But as for that shot, right in the heart, the question is it like close? Is it just kind of hitting the outside of the heart and that's it? Or did it have some room to spare? So we'll take a quick look at that. We're pretty low on the energy. So yeah, not by much, but almost center of the heart. I think it would be pretty consistent if you were to do that, but 19%. Good to take that out. And we'll just kind of continue on our way here. You know, throughout this entire hunt, I've been thinking about just how long it's been since we've been on Nez Perce, and like all the potential things that maybe could be 5 stars right now that I've just forgotten where they are or to even go check. So hopefully this 4-star moose, which doesn't look terribly great to me, can be something we go and take a look at in the future. I've actually been primarily devoting all of my time here on Nez Perce since shooting that elk to trying to find a moose to take with a crossbow. We finally find a bull and we can't shoot him, but that is up here kind of in the far northeast end. We'll try to remember that for the next time we're here, because I think that guy's got a shot. Well, so far, we've managed to find 2 4-star bulls and nothing else. So we're not going to be able to take this one either, but this is definitely a different bull. And this is kind of the beauty of Way the Hunter. We spent all that time looking for whitetail and trying to get 5-star bucks. We're not going up here, and like these moose are just aging and getting to a point where they can turn into trophies, and very soon they may both be 5 stars. So finally, third time's a charm, we do have a 1-star adult bull moose coming into a low fitness call. Now, moose are a little bit unique in that their skull basically covers the entirety of the vitals on their way in. So we'll need to kind of time this properly, let him either notice us or just kind of stop and look around a bit and give us that opportunity to go for a vital shot. But I'm thinking he's under 20. That is him noticing us, and that is him dropping from a crossbow shot. We've done it with the Alaska moose, so not a huge surprise to do it here on Nez Perce as well, but it's always so satisfying to just drop them in their tracks, and I think kind of do that cross when we didn't hit dead center. Now this is a thing, we actually did not hit this low. We've had it on a number of occasions now, where it seems the bullet or crossbow bolt path is just showing too low, because we hit more like up in here, but even still, bit of cavity damage on the heart and a right lung shot primarily at 21 yards. He was 49.76%, so barely came in, but got that one out of the herd as well, and we're almost down to dark, so maybe we can go and find one more thing, but it's going to be dark pretty soon here. You know, I haven't really tried this. We've got a 2-star mature mule deer buck about 145 yards away. I wonder if with the hunter sense, if we could kind of make that shot. So we want a 0 for 55, go with the hunter sense on. That is a significant drop and windage difference. So gotta get our breath back. See if we can line that back up. That hit him. Did it hit him well? I have no idea, but maybe it'll work. Would you look at that? Pink blood. So I thought when that bolt impacted, we kind of were lucking out a bit with the angle. He was quartering too, and I believe we hit just in front of the shoulder blade. At least that's what it looked like from 145 yards away through a 5-power scope, but it's going to bring him down. I don't know how far he's going to run from that, but that's actually kind of cool. And he's laying right there. I think he actually just expired. Maybe ran, I didn't mark it, but 160 yards? Not bad. And we do also have a herd of whitetail out here, including a 1-star mature. Now, I think in this case, especially because it's getting dark and we're not making a 270-yard shot with a crossbow, we'll just get him with the 30-06. And that'll be one more little bonus skill as we head towards the end of this hunt. But let's see how this actually went down with this buck, because it does look like the bolt is maybe a little bit higher than it looked. But again, 145 yards, not the highest mag on the crossbow scope, could have just been that. I do think though, like you can see the angle, how it kind of went in just in front of the shoulder. And that's just exactly what we're seeing here. Right lung shot, not a ton of penetration, but that's pretty cool. 145 yards away. He was a 49%, so a good one to take out. We'll run and grab our whitetail buck then. And of course, as a 1-star mature, not going to be anything overly special, a 42%, so definitely far from the worst 1-star mature we've seen. But we are approaching dark, and part of the reason for that is we didn't start this hunt till about 10 or 11 a.m., and that was because we were focused on another whitetail that we've been after here on Nez Perce for quite some time. That's our buck. Like that has to be him. Literally a month ago, before Aurora Shores came out, we called this guy in as a 4-star mature. Just kind of over here is this herd. And we had done that in anticipation of the crossbow release. And then the herd just disappeared. The plan had always been to try to take him with the crossbow, and I just could not find them. But they were just up here on this mountainside, and look at that guy. I know we had him at something like 30 yards as a 4-star, but to see him reach 5, and from memory, this is like the last day of this age cycle. He may well die if we went one day further forward, and I've been out here on Nez Perce a couple of times trying to locate him exactly for this, and I cannot believe we found him. He's got really nice ivory tines as well. I don't know how close he'll come in, and I've not shot a whitetail with the crossbow yet, but oh my goodness. 40 yards away, just calling out at us like that. That was pretty cool. Let's make sure he keeps on coming in. I'd like to get him, I mean, ideally to like 20, just for the sake of bringing him in that close. That frame is massive. I don't know if this brush could affect anything. I don't think it could. He's at 30 there. Let's get the crossbow ready. There is a pretty hefty left to right crosswind, so we may kind of favor the left side a bit. As soon as he kind of breaks up through that, that's even better with that quartering angle. That's gonna drop him in his tracks. Unbelievable. I thought that buck was gone. I really did. If you remember, there were actually 2 4-star matures, and clearly one has died, and I'm guessing he maybe never would have made 5-star, but this dude was a 3-star adult, I believe, at the time we killed our first 5-star buck, and now he's made 5-star as well, up here. A good, I don't know, 200-300 yards from where they normally were. Just had to find the right spot, but let's get a quick photo. Unfortunately, I cannot imagine it looking worse, but I guess we'll just go with that. We'll be able to get something decent from the trophy lodge. But let's see, I don't even remember the score of our last. Ended up with a right lung and artery shot. Pretty much exactly where we wanted that, in front of the shoulder blade, nothing to stop the bolt going through. Didn't end up hitting the left lung, got a little bit of cavity damage, but hitting the right lung there, and actually the artery that goes down to the heart was plenty. He is a 94%. Is that a different frame? It might be. I don't know. But a total score of 479. You know, that seems incredibly familiar. I'll have to go back and take a look at the screenshots. I think too, like there's some slight change to the whitetail models in the harvest screen. Like it looks different to me. But let's tax him. And we've now got 2 5-star whitetail, but one taken with a crossbow at 20 yards. that one was a little bit cooler. So to get yet another 5-star whitetail buck, I believe with a different frame, is pretty darn cool. We do have another 1-star mature here that we'll go ahead and take out. I'm glad that one behind him didn't jump, because that was actually a decent buck. May have been a 2 or 3-star. Even still, I don't think that would ever get to 5. But getting another whitetail taken out, and then we'll jump back and take a look in the trophy lodge. But it was so cool the way that went down, and I had been so afraid, like, at this point, going forward to the next day, I do think an age cycle may occur. I could be wrong, it's been so long since we've been here on Nez Perce, but I believe I had spent 2 days looking for them prior to the release of Aurora Shores, so I thought he was going to die if we didn't find him today, and luckily, we were able to, and of course that's why this hunt started a little bit later. That guy is almost the same percentage, but way worse looking with that unevenness. But obviously we have a much better looking whitetail buck to go and throw in the lodge, and I think we'll take a look at that now. And having finally put him here in the lodge, he is a different frame shape than our first one, which I did look, by the way. He was a 487, so significantly bigger, but the biggest difference you can see is actually in the G2s. On this guy, they kind of lean forward and almost actually meet the G3 if you're looking for like side on, whereas this one's more of like the picket fence, all the tines are perfectly aligned, and you can kind of see too in the main beams, they're a little more rounded, whereas this guy's got very kind of flat beams. So quite cool, we finally got a second 5-star buck, and they're different frames, which is just what you can only hope for in a trophy lodge, having all your animals, like just having variety. But I knew this was inevitable coming out to Nez Perce. We were gonna find something cool, and those moose, we're gonna have to come back here in the very near future and see what they turn into, because I think there's a real shot, one if not both, could end up being a 5-star, but that's gonna be for down the road, because on that note, that's gonna do it for this video. So as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.